The Maharaja's tiger hunt continued to be highly successful. Within 10 years, he was able to kill 70 tigers. So a period of 10 years passed and the Tiger King had killed 70 tigers. And then an unforeseen hurdle brought his mission to a standstill. Standstill means to become stagnated, unable to move forward. And his mission was to kill 100 tigers, and that mission came to a standstill due to an unforeseen hurdle. Hurdle is the obstruction which comes in the way. Unforeseen means for which you are not prepared. The tiger population became extinct in the forest of Pratibandhapuram. The tiger population became extinct. Extinct means they diminished. There were no more tigers left. Who knows whether the tiger practiced birth control or committed harakiri? Now here again you notice the humor. He says nobody knew. Who knows means nobody knew whether the tigers practiced birth control. Birth control means when a restriction is put on the birth rate. Like in India, we have a national family planning program which permits you to have only 2 kids. This is a measure to control the population, and this is called birth control. So he was making fun. He says nobody knew whether the tigers were practicing birth control or committed harakiri. Committed harakiri means when you commit mass suicide, kill yourself. So he says this is a harakiri means committing mass suicide, or simply run away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. This is again humor. He says, and who knows, they must have run away from this state. They desired to be killed by the British officers. One day the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Diwan Sahab, aren't you aware of the fact that 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine? He asked, brandishing his gun. Brandishing means when you hold up a revolver or a pistol or a rifle and start waving it in order to threaten to kill. So the king held his rifle or the gun and he told the Diwan, do you know that 30 tigers still remain to be shot by this gun of mine? Shuddering at the sight of the gun. Shuddering means shivering with fright. The Diwanji was shivering with fright because the king was holding the gun. The Diwan cried out, Your Majesty, I am not a tiger. He was standing at gunpoint and he said, I am not a tiger. Which idiot would call you a tiger? This is the conversation between the Diwan and the king. And the king said, which idiot? Which foolish person would call you a tiger who is standing here and shivering in fear? No, I am not a gun. You are neither tiger nor gun. Diwan Sahib, I summoned you here for a different purpose. I have decided to get married. The Diwan was so terrified, so frightened, and the king could do anything. So he lost his senses and he was talking all nonsense. When the king said he decided to get married, the Diwan began to babble. Babble means to talk in a very indistinct manner. Babble even more. Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already. If I marry you, see the foolish talks that are coming out of the mouth of the Diwan due to extreme terror or fear of the king. King said, don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What? I want a tiger. Now the king says, I want a tiger. And see what does the Diwan understand. All this is humor. Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword. If you like, marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well. This is the answer of the Diwan, which is all foolish, idiotic nonsense. So he says, your ancestors were married to the gun. Actually, if you see the portraits of the royal Maharajas and the princes at the reception of their palaces, you will always see them with a sword in their royal robes. So he says, that is why he says, your ancestors were married, they always carried a sword by the side. You could carry this gun. And then he goes on to say, a tiger king is more than enough for this state. We do not need a tiger queen as well. The Maharaja gave a loud crack of laughter. At the idiotic talks, at the foolish talks of the Diwan, he gave out loud laughter. I am not thinking of marrying either a tiger or a gun, but a girl from the rank of human beings. From the rank of human beings means like everybody marries a woman who is a human being. I also wish to marry a woman who is a human being. First, you, and now he is telling the Diwan the terms and the condition in which he has to look for a girl to be married to this king. And what are the terms and conditions? Here he says, first you may draw up statistics. Statistics is the data you have to collect, the number of tiger population in the different native states. Different native states means different states in India. There were many small states during the pre-independence days in India. And he says, first thing you have to see, what is the tiger population in the state. Next, you may investigate. Investigate means to find out if there is a girl I can marry in the royal family of a state with a large tiger population. So first thing, the state should have a large number of tigers, and then you must find out whether there is a girl in the royal family of marriageable age. Then we will go ahead with this plan. The Diwan followed his orders. He found the right girl from a state which possessed a large number of tigers. And the Diwan, as ordered by the king, got down to work. He got a state with a large tiger population as well as a girl in the royal family of marriageable age. Maharaja Jangjang Bahadur killed 5 to 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. Now, after marriage, every time when he went to his father-in-law's house, he killed 5 or 6 tigers. And this number kept on increasing. Till now, he had killed about 70 tigers. Now, every time he went and he killed 5 or 6 tigers. In this summer, 99 tiger skins adorned the walls of the reception hall in the Pratibandhapuram palace. And you must have seen in old palaces and royal homes a lot of killed animal and the heads or the whole body of the animal stuffed, standing in the various corners. These are called trophies, which they show with great pride to the visitors that the kings of those times were very courageous and bold and fearless. The Maharaja's anxiety reached fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. The Maharaja's anxiety. Anxiety means greatly upset and worried, tensed. Why? Because he had reached the number 99, and the last tiger he was unable to kill. And this anxiety was reaching a very high level, high pitch. Fever pitch means at a very high level. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. So only one single thing played on his mind day and night. That one tiger which remains to be killed. By this time, the tiger farm had run dry. Tiger farm had run dry means there were no more tigers left. Even in his father-in-law's kingdom, there weren't any tigers left. It became impossible to locate tigers anywhere. Yet only one more was needed, and only one was needed, but that one kept him waiting for a long time, and he was very, very upset. If he could kill just that one single beast, the Maharaja would have no fear left. And this is what he was playing in his mind, that if he killed that single tiger, his fear would be gone. He could give up tiger hunting altogether. And if this tally of 100 reached, he would give up tiger hunting. Give up means to stop something once and for all. But he had to be extremely careful with that last tiger. And this is what was the prediction of the astrologer, that you may kill 99 tigers in the similar manner, but you have to be very, very careful about killing the 100th tiger. What had the late chief astrologer said? Late means the chief astrologer was no more alive. He was dead and gone, but his prediction still was there. Even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should beware of the 100th. Beware means to be extra careful and cautious about killing the 100th tiger. True enough, the tiger was a savage beast after all. These two words, savage and beast. Savage means very uncivilized. Beast means a very cruel, ferocious animal which kills mercilessly. And a tiger kills mercilessly. So he says a tiger is a savage and a fierce beast after all. One had to be wary of it. Wary again means very cautious, very careful. But where was the 100th tiger to be found? But where was the 100th tiger to be found? This is a question mark, because no tiger was to be found anymore now. It seemed easier to find tiger's milk than a live tiger. This is just a humor. And he says it was easier to find a tiger's milk than a live tiger. Live tiger means a living tiger. Thus the Maharaja was sunk in gloom. Sunk in gloom. Gloom means extreme sadness. He became sad because he could not achieve his ambition of killing 100 tiger. But soon came the happy news which dispelled that gloom. So soon came a good news which dispelled means removed away the sadness. Let's see what's the news. In his own state, sheep began to disappear frequently from the hillside villages. And this news came that sheep started disappearing from a hillside village. It was first ascertained. Ascertained means made very sure that this was not the work of Kedar Mia Sahib or Veera Sami Naikar. So when this news came that sheep were disappearing from the hillside villages, they made sure whether this was not done by these two thieves. Both the names are the names of thieves who used to steal the goat and the sheep of the villagers and go and sell them or eat them. And these are the names of those two thieves. So this was made sure whether this was not their work. Both famed for their ability to swallow sheep whole. Swallow sheep whole. Swallow means to take down the throat. Of course, it's not possible for anyone to swallow a sheep whole. This is just a phrase to show that they were very good at the act of disappearing, making these animals disappear. They were very good thieves at stealing the sheep. Surely a tiger was at work. Since these two thieves were not at this work, it was taken to be that the tiger was there. The villagers ran to inform the Maharaja. The Maharaja announced a 3-year exemption from all taxes for that village and set out on a tiger hunt at once. Now, when this news came that the tiger was eating all the sheep and there is a presence of a tiger in this village, the king was very excited, very thrilled that his tally of 100 is going to be achieved. So he exempted. Exempt means to give freedom from. So what was the exemption? The exemption was from all taxes. So all taxes means everything was free for the villagers now. They did not have to pay any taxes to the state for that village and set out on a tiger hunt at once. The tiger was not easily found. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid himself in order to flout the Maharaja's will. Wantonly means in a playful, sportive manner, was not coming in sight, was not making himself visible. The tiger was willfully playing with the Maharaja in not appearing before him or not making himself visible so that he could shoot him, in order to flout the Maharaja's will. Flout means to disobey. The Maharaja was equally determined. He refused to leave the forest until the tiger was found. Now the Maharaja was very determined. And he said, I will not go back to my palace or kingdom until and unless I kill this tiger. As the days passed, and every day as the day was passing, the Maharaja's fury and obstinacy, underline both these words. Fury means extreme anger. Obstinacy means stubbornness. Both these grew. Mounted means increased alarmingly. His anger, extreme anger, and his stubbornness mounted alarmingly. Alarmingly means giving a dangerous threat. The king could do anything in his fit of anger. Many officers lost their jobs, and in this fit of anger, many officers were sacked. When you are told to go away and leave the job, you are sacked. So many officers lost their jobs. One day, when his rage was at its height, means his anger was extreme, the Maharaja called the Diwan and ordered him to double the land tax forthwith. You remember, he exempted all taxes, but since the tiger did not appear, he became extremely happy after many days have passed, And now he says, you just double the land taxes of this village right now. Forthwith means immediately, without loss of any time. The people will become discontented. Then our state too will fall a prey to the Indian National Congress. Because it was the pre-independence days, and he says when the Diwan was told by the king to double the land taxes, so the Diwan was an advisor to the king. He advised the king that if you take such an extreme step, such a harsh step, the people will become dissatisfied, and then the Indian National Congress will take over our state. In that case, you may resign from your post, said the king. When the Diwan tried to give some sound advice to the king, who was very determined, full of anger, he did not want to listen to anything. He told the Diwan, if you are not willing to do it, you may resign from your post. You may also leave and go. The Diwan went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, the results could be catastrophic. And now the Diwan understood that if the tiger was not found, the results, the consequences are going to be disastrous. Catastrophic, disastrous means anything which causes destruction at a large scale. He felt life returning to him only when he saw the tiger, which had been brought from the People's Park in Madras and kept hidden in his house. So now the Diwan, along with the other ministers, hit upon a plan that let us provide a tiger to the king. They went to a zoo in Madras, brought a tiger, he hid that tiger in his house. At midnight, when the town slept in peace, the Diwan and his aged wife dragged the tiger to the car and shoved him into the seat. This is full of humor. The Diwan and his wife at midnight, when the whole town was asleep, because they wanted to keep this a secret. Nobody should know of this plan. Who provided the tiger to the king and how? So, at midnight, when the whole town was asleep, they dragged the tiger. They were pulling the tiger and pushed him into the car. Shoved means to push. Drag means to pull something heavy. The Diwan himself drove the car straight to the forest where the Maharaja was hunting. When they reached the forest, the tiger launched its satyagraha. Launching a satyagraha means a non-violent way of opposition. This is again humor. Actually, satyagraha was started by Gandhiji, because Gandhiji was always opposing the British Raj in a very non-violent way. You must have heard about his salt satyagraha, you must have heard about his Dandi March, and all these were non-violent means of opposing the British Raj during the pre-independence days. And in the similar manner, the tiger launched a satyagraha means he refused to get down to the car and refused to get out of the car. The Diwan was thoroughly exhausted. Thoroughly means completely, exhausted means physically tired in his effort to haul. Haul means to pull out the beast out of the car and push it down to the ground. He had to put in all his energy, all his physical strength to get the tiger down from the car. On the following day, the same old tiger wandered into the Maharaja's presence and stood as if in humble supplication. Supplication means pleading and praying before God. And the same tiger came in front of the Maharaja as if in a very humble manner. Humble means in a very meek and a gentle manner. Now see, both these qualities, meek and gentle, do not go with the tiger. Tiger is a very ferocious and very dangerous animal that kills mercilessly. So these qualities do not go with the tiger. Master, what do you command of me? And as if to say, he went before the king and he says, Master, what do you command of me? Means, what do you want me to do for you? This is the manner in which the tiger presented himself in front of the Maharaja. All this is humor. It was with boundless joy that the Maharaja took careful aim at the beast. The tiger fell in a crumpled heap. The moment the tiger came in front of the Maharaja took careful aim and shot it, and it crumpled. Crumpled means to fall in a lifeless manner. ढेर हो गया जिसको बोलते हैं हिंदी में. I have killed the 100th tiger. My vow has been fulfilled. Vow means the promise which I had made has been completed. The Maharaja was overcome with elation. Elation means feeling very highly about himself, feeling very proud about himself that he had achieved the tally of 100. Ordering the tiger to be brought to the capital in grand procession. And he told the Diwan that this tiger should be carried to the state capital in a grand procession, where people cheering, shouting, clapping, following this tiger. The Maharaja hastened away in his car, giving this order that this tiger should be carried on a carriage decorated with flowers, people following it in a procession. In this manner, he should be brought to the state capital. After the Maharaja left, the hunters went to take a closer look at the tiger. So after the Maharaja went away in his car, the other hunters went close to the tiger and observed it very keenly. The tiger looked back at them, rolling its eyes in bafflement. Bafflement means in utter state of confusion. The tiger was alive because his eyes were moving and he was looking up at the other hunters. The men realized that the tiger was not dead. The bullet had missed it. So the tiger was not killed by the bullet. The bullet had hit somewhere else off the mark. It had fainted from the shock of the bullet whizzing past. The tiger merely fainted. Fainted means became unconscious because the bullet went very close, whizzing past him. Whizzing is the sound created by anything which moves at a very high speed through air. So when it is moving at a very high speed through air, it is cutting air. So when it cuts air, it creates this whizzing sound. The hunter wondered what they should do. Now the hunters were in a fix. They could not go back and tell the king that you have missed the tiger is still alive. Nobody wanted to take the risk because everybody was losing their jobs. They decided that the Maharaja must not come to know that he had missed his target. And they all decided among themselves that this should be kept a secret, that the bullet had missed its mark or target. If he did, they could lose their jobs. One of the hunters took aim from a distance of 1 foot and shot the tiger. This time he killed it without missing the mark. So after this, another hunter took very close range shot and finally killed the tiger.